The stones scraped against stone as they sealed the entrance. Darkness swallowed everything. Then came the sounds. Low growls rumbling from deep chests, paws padding closer, hot breath in the blackness. Daniel could hear them circling, hungry, agitated. The king had thrown him to starving lions as entertainment, and there was no way out. But when the sun rose and they rolled back that stone, what they found would prove that faithfulness to God is never in vain, even when it leads you straight into the jaws of death. Who was this man whose prayers were more precious to him than his own life, whose integrity couldn't be bought, threatened, or compromised? And why does his refusal to bow still echo as a challenge to every generation that follows? This is the story of Daniel, the teenage exile who became the most powerful advisor in two world empires, who interpreted dreams that haunted kings, who survived a night that should have been his last. His story isn't just about lions. It's about unwavering faithfulness when compromise seems easier, integrity when everyone else bends, and trusting God even when the den is sealed shut. Before the lions, there was a choice. Daniel was just a teenager when Babylonian soldiers dragged him from Jerusalem. His home destroyed, his temple burned, his nation conquered. King Nebuchadnezzar selected the best Jewish youth to be re-educated and absorbed into Babylon's elite. They gave Daniel a new name, new education, and food from the king's table, food that would defile him according to God's law. Here's the first test. Compromise a little, survive, stand firm, risk everything. Daniel asked permission to eat only vegetables and water. The official was terrified. "The king will have my head if you look unhealthy." Daniel proposed a test. Try it for 10 days. 10 days later, Daniel and his friends looked healthier than everyone else. God honored their faithfulness. But this was just the beginning. Years passed. Daniel rose through Babylon's ranks because God gave him understanding of dreams and visions. When King Nebuchadnezzar had a nightmare none of his magicians could interpret, he ordered them all executed, including Daniel. But here's the twist. Daniel didn't even know about the dream yet. He was about to die for failing a test he hadn't taken. Daniel asked for time, then prayed desperately. That night, God revealed everything, the dream and its meaning. Daniel stood before the furious king. No wise man can reveal this mystery, but there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries. Then Daniel described the king's dream in perfect detail. A massive statue with a head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, feet of clay. A rock struck it and grew into a mountain filling the earth. Daniel explained, "You are the head of gold. After you, other kingdoms will rise, but the God of heaven will establish a kingdom that will never be destroyed." The king fell prostrate. "Your God is the God of gods." He promoted Daniel to ruler over Babylon's entire province. But power breeds enemies. Decades passed. Babylon fell. A new king took the throne, Darius, and Daniel, now an old man, was still indispensable. Darius planned to set him over the whole kingdom. The other officials were furious. They searched desperately for corruption in Daniel's record. Business dealings, financial fraud, anything. They found nothing, not one shady transaction in decades of power. So they crafted a trap. King Darius issued a decree that for 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or human except you shall be thrown into the lion's den. It appealed to Darius's ego. He signed it, unchangeable under Mede and Persian law. The officials knew Daniel's secret. He prayed 3 times a day, every day, windows open toward Jerusalem. Here's the moment that defines everything. When Daniel heard about the decree, he went home, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed, exactly as he always had. He wasn't ignorant, he wasn't careless. He made a choice: compromise his integrity or trust God with the consequences. He chose God, publicly, definitely. 3 times that day. The officials rushed to the king. "Daniel pays no attention to you." He still prays 3 times a day. Darius was devastated. He spent the entire day trying to find a loophole, but the law was ironclad. As the sun set, the king gave the order with a breaking heart: "Throw him to the lions." As they lowered Daniel into the den, Darius called out desperately, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." They sealed the entrance. Daniel was trapped in darkness with starving predators. That night, Darius couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. He paced his palace while Daniel lay in a pit of lions. But Daniel wasn't alone in that den. At dawn, Darius ran to the den. His voice trembled. "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you?" Silence. Then, "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths." Maybe you're in a den right now. Maybe you chose integrity and it cost you. Has there been a time when you called upon God in an impossible situation, when you were trapped with no way out, and he came through for you? Drop a comment below and share your testimony. Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. The king was overjoyed. They pulled Daniel out, not a scratch on him. The Bible says, "No wound was found on him because he had trusted in his God." But here's the shocking twist. Darius ordered the men who had accused Daniel thrown into the den, along with their families. Before they even reached the floor, the lions overpowered them and crushed their bones. The same lions that hadn't touched Daniel tore them apart instantly. This wasn't luck. This was the living God protecting his faithful servant. King Darius issued a decree to every nation. People must fear the God of Daniel. He is the living God who endures forever. He rescues and saves. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. An entire empire commanded to fear the God of a Jewish exile who refused to stop praying. What made Daniel mighty wasn't his wisdom, it was his unwavering faithfulness. He prayed when it was illegal. He stood alone when everyone else bowed. He trusted God when the den was sealed, and God shut the mouths of lions. The same God who protected Daniel hears your prayers today. The God who sent an angel into the den can send help into your impossible situation. The God who vindicated Daniel's integrity will vindicate yours. Daniel's life asks you one question. Will you compromise or will you trust God? When the decree says stop praying, will you? When standing for truth costs you everything, will you stand? When the den is waiting, will you stay faithful? Daniel chose faithfulness over compromise, and God shut the mouths of lions. That same God is asking you today, will you trust me even when it costs you everything? If this story has challenged you to stand firm, no matter what, if you're ready to pray with your windows open, even if there's a den waiting, drop a comment below with "God shuts lions' mouths" and share what situation you're trusting him with. And if you want more powerful Bible stories that will strengthen your faith and point you toward Jesus Christ, the Lion of Judah, who defeated death itself, subscribe and turn on notifications. Daniel survived the lion's den, but Jesus walked into death's jaws willingly, was buried in a sealed tomb, and rose victorious, conquering death forever. The story of Daniel points to the greater king, and that king is calling your name today. Will you trust him even when the den is waiting? God shuts lions' mouths.